should remember the name, The Grammar of Ornament. I showed you a number of images. This is a reminder to me to tell you that chromolithography was a relatively new process at the time. So he was able to write this book showing all the colors beautifully depicted because of the new printing process. He also did things I never said but should have. He did not design all these things himself. He collected textiles from all over the world so that when he showed you a page of Greek designs, they were really Greek. If he showed you Moroccan designs, they were really Moroccan. And this was telling you, okay, it isn't saying that any one of them was better than others, but he was showing you how to be authentic if you were designing or copying a design. And the pages accompanying these, the illustrations, were instructions on what colors were appropriate to what kinds of rooms and how you should use the colors. I haven't gone through all of the book in detail, but some of the pages I've read included things like, this is where you, if you are using 3 colors, on a wall, put the darkest color at the bottom and then the lighter colors as it's going up. He would talk about mixing the scale of patterns and give guidance to people who wanted to use coloring pattern. Now, the other thing that happened, the most important thing that was a physical result of the fair was the founding of a museum, and we have it, the date disappears, but in 1852, the Museum of Manufactures, which is a significant title. It then became the South Kensington Museum. It is now the Victoria and Albert Museum. This museum, and Henry Cole was appointed the director, and Prince Albert supported this. This was a museum taking some of the best kinds of objects shown at the Great Exhibition, and similarly what were judged to be good objects, and putting them in the museum so that people could have standards from which to judge, by which to judge. One of the reasons people needed standards, if I referred to it before, is not only that there was so much from which to choose, but also that, and I don't remember, did we discuss last week who constituted the new middle class? Okay, nobody says yes, either way. So, if you grow up on a farm and you go to work in a factory, you have horrible circumstances, but you build a factory. So you become wealthy. You open a store to sell the products that are made in her factory. So you become wealthy. I mean, if not rich, at least profitable. You have a trucking company or a shipping company or a railroad. So you get the point. There is a new middle class that never existed before. But these people didn't come from money or status necessarily. So these people have money to spend and don't know what to spend it on. These are the people to whom the museum and the design guidebooks are directed. Victoria and Albert lived in Kensington Palace much of the time, but they wanted a private place for their family. And what they did looks very much like a typical Victorian home. Maybe not so typical because it's large. This is on the Isle of Wight. Osborne House, it's really an Italian, kind of an Italian revival villa. Prince Albert, and Thomas Cubitt was a real architect. But Albert really did the house himself. And what you see here are a whole slew of revival styles. If I said, what style is this, you shouldn't be able to give me an answer. But if I said, when do you think these interiors were done, after looking at a few, you should be able to guess. It must be mid-19th century. And this is just a prettier drawing. Actually, it's, see, an adjoining room. You're seeing sort of muddy colors. Look at that's not quite magenta, but that's about the color that was very popular. Magenta and olive and sort of muddy browns. And here, so they're taking from any number of styles. They're doing flowers all over the place. They're mixing up with no particular, okay, these are fairly symmetrical arrangements, but no particular plan in what you're going to collect necessarily. And this is a neater arrangement than you would see in many Victorian interiors. But the mix is what I wanted to show you. And this, because this was so much fun, it probably wasn't as intense a blue as this. But the private railway car, which looks more cluttered, of course it's small, and which gives me a chance to show you this kind of thing is what we associate when we laugh at Victorian. Lamps like this squiggly with the skirted shade, and this doesn't have all of the fringe and tassels that we associate with the time period.